My replacement car problem was almost solved because someone just crossed the yellow line and almost hit me head on. So, new car, maybe? I want to talk to you guys about another car that I have always kind of dreamed about. So, we all have our dream cars, and that list only really continues growing. Once we hit one goal, we think about another car. And so my first car was the Chrysler 300. I always wanted a 300. I always liked the 300. But if it got beyond, could I afford the 300? Well, what's next? And the next was between a pickup truck, because, I always liked the pickup trucks, or a Dodge Durango. I always really liked the Dodge Durango. I felt like it looked sporty. Just the design overall makes it look sporty. And you can't get a Durango without the 5.7 Hemi. It's just not, it's not worth it. It's like what, $2,000 difference to get the Hemi, and the power loss to take the V6 is just not worth it. So that was something I'd always kind of wanted to do. And when I was rolling in the deep, as they say, I was thinking, I could own pretty much any dream car I've ever had. I should go get a Durango. I've got the truck. I had the 300 at the time. So, heck, I think I even had a Tesla at the time. So I was like, I should go get the Durango. And I was real close to ordering a Durango. And just so happened, they announced the new Grand Cherokee L. And on paper, the Grand Cherokee L was a Durango. The size was there. The styling was there. The features were way above the Durango. Bigger screen, bigger moonroof, better everything. And I'm thinking, well, why would I buy a Durango? I mean, if the Grand Cherokee L is basically a Durango, but better, all the features it has are just way better. Why would I buy a Durango? So I ordered a Grand Cherokee L instead. And within days of owning it, I realized that was a bad idea. Jeep is known for their reliability. And if you know anything about Jeep, you are laughing in your seat right now. And I learned that firsthand because it was not reliable at all. We're talking a brand new car with 5 miles on it. Smells like it's burning, like electrical burning. And it only got worse. Things got worse from there. So, I got rid of that Jeep with 1,000 miles on it. I was like, yep, I'm out of this, gone. And so I guess I never really fulfilled my want to own a Durango. And now it's come back to me, and I'm thinking, I should look at Durangos. And I don't even know why. I don't even know why I want a Durango. I guess because they're just not that expensive. Compared to the Jeep, they are much cheaper. And they're four-wheel drive, and they're a big Hemi V8. And part of me kind of thinks, should I get a gas car to take on my trip versus an electric car? Because, charging is not that big of a deal. But if you add up the charging stops for the entire trip, from leaving my house to arriving back at my house, it would take 25 hours of charging to keep the car moving along this entire trip. And what could I do with 25 extra hours on my trip? A lot of things. I could explore a lot more places. Now, sure, that's going to be split up into, 25 days. So about an hour a day extra. Doesn't seem like a whole lot when you break it down like that. But, the thought of taking a Durango, having, just a little bit extra comfort versus a Tesla. You got your cooled seats where Tesla doesn't have that. You've got your satellite radio, stuff like that. So the idea, has presented itself. Could I buy a Durango and take it versus driving one of my Teslas? And, what would I do when I get back? Maybe I'd keep it just as like a winter vehicle, just something to get around in when the snow. I do have the Rivian, but I guess, the Rivian's kind of heavy, so it's kind of like taking a Super Duty out in the snow. It doesn't work very well. So I could have the Durango as a snow vehicle. I could have it as just my only gas 5.7 liter burn up the planet vehicle. Or I could just sell it. I wouldn't really lose a whole lot, and I would get to take it for the trip. I think if you're going to do that, though, you have to take into account that you're probably better off just renting a car to take on the trip and then, returning it when you're done. But I do like the Durango. I could see me keeping it for longer than just the trip. You also have to take into consideration that the trip would cost about $3,000 more in gas because Tesla, I have free supercharging, so I do the whole trip for free, and that was the plan. The whole trip's free, but it takes an extra hour a day versus $3,000, and I gain an extra hour a day. Is it worth it? I don't know that that's worth it. So I don't know. Been back and forth with that one lately. Just looking at Durangos, and like I say, they're not that great. They don't have the big moonroof. They do finally have a bigger screen now. They've done a little bit of refresh, but they're not that different. My biggest attraction to the vehicle is the exterior, how it looks, front and back. I'm big about a vehicle's exterior, and I like the way they look. And if I don't like the way it looks entirely, then I don't like the car. I really, really liked the front and back of the Chrysler 300. I like it. The Teslas, not so much. I wasn't big on the front. Didn't really care about the back. It was okay. It wasn't like, it didn't catch my eye, but it wasn't an eyesore either. The front, didn't like the design, and it's slowly grown on me. But at first, I didn't like it. The Durango, love at first sight. Front and back, love the design, love how it looks, and even more now because the little accent lights and the headlights, it just makes it look badder, And like I say, it's styled like a sports SUV. It's styled like a bad muscle SUV, which I like that about it. So I don't know. These are all thoughts. I have the money, but I've been playing with this. Goldman Sachs just opened up a new bank account, 4.15% interest to park your money. And so that's what I've been doing for the past 6 months, is I've just been parking my money somewhere. I was at 3.75. I moved to Goldman Sachs, now at 4.15. And I'm making money on just letting money sit there. So I've not been using that money to do other things like pay off my Rivian. The plan was when I got my check from Tesla for the Model X, I was going to pay off the Rivian. I didn't do that. I put that money into a savings account because I figured this is almost like an interest-free loan on the Rivian, and I get to hold on to the money. If something comes up, I can use the money if I need to. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been sitting there holding the money, collecting interest, and I'm paying the equivalent of like 1.3% interest on the Rivian. So a loan that low, it makes no sense to pay it off early. So yeah, I've just been holding on to that money. And so that's why, not just because of that, but for other reasons, that's why I have the money to go buy a Durango right now, if I wanted to. But then I would no longer have, one, the interest coming in, and two, the ability to just go pay off the Rivian whenever I want. So it's more of a disadvantage than it is just I'd like to do this, I should do it. So I have to take that into consideration as well and debate, is it really worth it to do it? And I don't think it is, but I'm of the generation that's like instant gratification, want it now, kind of thing. So so that part of me kind of makes me think I should just go get a Durango. So option number 2, there's a Rivian. Hey. Option number 2 was to possibly, get the Model X. I've talked about that. Really wanted to do that as well. Again, going to ruin my chances of paying off my Rivian early. So, whatever. We'll see where it goes. Maybe I'll just go pay off the Rivian and be broke and just be mad at myself. How about that? So yeah, those are just thoughts in my head. The one thing that brings me back to it is like a Durango is half the price of a Model X, and I'm spending the equivalent of the same thing, but I'm picking up an extra vehicle. Not that I need another vehicle, but and I guess I try to justify it by having another use for that vehicle. So yeah, welcome to my brain.